O Emperor, from the snares of the heretic, the mutant, the xeno, and the warp spawn. In you we place all our faith. In you we find refuge. In you we find our avenger. Lead us forth into legions of humanity's foes. With thy spirit and give us the courage and capability to slay the foes in every battle we are compelled to fight, where they last until the end of time.
Hello everyone! I need to make sure that these are all fine. Yes, they are. And I've also pretty much got the cameras good, so well done me.
Hell yeah.
There we go. Oh, no, I haven't. I've put... sorry, Ellie, you're on top of everyone. There we go. You're behind it now. And I am in the wrong position. Almost. Okay. Yes. Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conventual Warfare. Yay! I am very happy to welcome everyone back, and I am going to do as good an intro as I always do. This is The Wandering Inn, and yes, we're back for the second episode of Conventual Warfare. Only a little bit late and with a terrible intro. First up, I've been asked to read out a super chat that we were given, which is, what do you call a women-led monastery? A non-profit. Thank you very much, Mark, for that. I think he was just excited that he managed to make a live episode. Usually he's asleep. So, a few little announcements. Last episode was a lot of fun. However, last episode was a lot of fun. Also, we have Ellie joining us. Yay, hello, Ellie.
Yay. I love how you said however.
Yeah.
However.
Last episode was fun. However, I have some issues.
However, it's better. This one's way better.
No, you may...
I mean, it is. We have a guest.
Don't put that pressure on me.
You may recognize Ellie from such shows as Duacroma Outlook, Dragon Riders, in which she kicked ass in both. And I'm just gonna...
I knew you looked familiar. I was like...
Yeah. Yes, additionally, I am working on merch. There is a pint glass with a logo, which I have made, and I'm trying to make more. Some hoodies, hopefully some trackies, and, some tracksuit bottoms, like trousers, and shirts, and things like that. So keep an eye out, because that will hopefully be coming soon. But keep in mind that the best way, if you do want to support the channel, if you do want to see more shows, is to head on over to Patreon, link below, and, donate a little bit. Well, not even donate, pledge a little bit. And, yeah, essentially, everything there goes directly into paying the cost, and then into any other, production, art, and etc. overheads that we have. So, have a think about that. Past that, there is the Twitter. Oh no, it's X now, isn't it? Yeah. There's the X. There is the Discord, which is a better place to go if you want to be notified. But some people just like using other places. And there is the website. On the website, you can find all the shows. Somnambulist, there's some cool people in that. Dragon Riders, as previously mentioned. Duacroma Outlook, which is a recorded and edited show that is ridiculous. The person who made the intro for this also edited and starred in the Duacroma Outlook. It's an alien
By ridiculous, you mean ridiculously awesome.
Ridiculously awesome. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That one was a tough one.
High production value. Yes.
And past that, let's get into the details of the show and everything. This show. So, a little bit of a recap, and then we'll get into it. Last week we found out that the planet, which has a name, which is here. There it is. Which is called Calliades, is currently the last bastion of the Imperium in the sector. Multiple planets have fallen to chaos cults. Other planets have seceded from the Imperium. Calliades was a cardinal world, essentially a place of pilgrimage and worship of the Emperor, and all of those lovely things that come along. There was some burning of heretics and stuff. We don't need to talk about that. And on this world is the Order of Pure Intent, an Adepta Sororitas order who have been, preaching and protecting the souls of the Emperor's citizens, all that kind of good stuff, until recently, whereupon they've taken a more military aggressive stance towards pretty much everything, as we saw when call it a command squad for the Canoness Superior was sent out to investigate a little sickness in a mining town. It was found there was a fairly heavy there was a fairly heavy indication of corruption found by the Hospitaller Give me a second here, I have the list of... There we go. Hospitaller Helestri Praxera.
Bless you.
Thank you. Who realized that this was not an illness and was actually some form of possibly chaos corruption. Told the poor luckless miner that he would be treated and be fine. Went outside, grabbed a flamer, and set the house on fire with him in it.
He was treated.
He was treated. Past that, we were introduced to Sister Superior Sarith Rose, who acts as squad leader for the command squad when the Canoness Superior is not available or doesn't want to go out herself into the field. We also met Canoness Superior Minerva Galatiya, who was inundated with requests for audience, little minor annoyances, and some disciplinary actions needing to be taken. And finally, she was sent a hollow message from the Inquisitor. It is Inquisitor Gisholt of the Order Hereticus, who is a patron and partially responsible for the formation of the Order of Pure Intent. He let her know that he is sending some assistance in the form of new recruits to the Order, and also a couple of squads of the 4th Company of the Fidelis Angelus, who are a Space Marine chapter, a Dark Angel successor chapter. As far as you're aware, there are more recruits coming in. However, you're not sure how much forces are coming and how soon. So moving forward, I would say the watchword for the sisters and for the planet in general is hold out until reinforcements come. There are occasional surgical strikes being sent out by the Imperial Guard, and the Order of Pure Intent are welcome to send assistance in the form of squads or, even just a sister to bolster their morale, etc. However, it isn't something that is currently necessary. So, we will begin, I think, with... Yes. We will begin in... Apologies, Canoness, but we're going to begin in the office of Canoness Superior Galatiya. As Zitra walks in and says, Canoness,
Yes, sister.
we have spoken before about the need for more dialogus advance among our number, especially as you have been inundated with requests and a need for communication with the other factions on this world.
Indeed, that is something that we have much needed, and I have sent in... It's on my to-do list, I should say.
I have prepared a candidate who has been called in from communication with the Astra Militarum. I cannot say that she is prepared for a higher level of communication with other certain nobles and important persons of the planet, but I thought you may want to talk to her to see if she can fill the role.
Yes, an interview of sorts. Yes, I think at this point, we certainly, dare I say it, can take what we can get, and we will need all the assistance we can get. So, perhaps we send them in and make sure they're at least suited, and perhaps bring them in as our dialogus then.
Of course, I shall retrieve her.
Thank you.
Additionally, I have informed the magos that Astera has been assigned cleaning duty. For the foreseeable future, until you rescind the order, she will be cleaning by hand the entirety of the prayer halls and the lower basement areas.
Yes, and make sure that she gets every little tile on the floor. As we do have many guests coming through, we cannot have the floors, the walls, the pillars, all of the various altars must be taken care of. So not a single piece of dust shall be seen among our halls. I'm sure it will take her much time to take care of that.
Of course, Canoness.
Thank you.
There are some additional communiques, but I will compile them and bring them to you to be worked through.
Yes, perhaps soon we call in a conference meeting of sorts. Conference meeting. Oh my god. I'm taking this too much like work. We need
So
It's
we're
not your
have all
fault. It's not your
annual
fault.
report.
we are gonna need to do some
Glasses come out.
quarterly reviews. Yeah.
Prepare for an audit.
Yeah.
The numbers haven't been great.
Oh god.
Morale is dwindling.
We need a team building.
We could actually. That's a good idea.
We're gonna do trust building exercises.
trust
It's
building.
called a trust fall.
You point the flamethrower at them and trust them not to shoot you.
Perhaps we bring in Sister Sareth and her squad on some of this, just for more of a greater outlook on some of the upcoming duties and tasks. I could use some support on that.
Of course. I shall send the word. They will be on standby for your call.
Much appreciated.
She bows and she walks out. I would say probably you have a good 5 minutes or so where there's not much happens, and then there is a rap at the door again.
Yes, you may enter.
And Zitra enters again, this time weighed down with multiple books and filings, reports, a few little I can't remember what they're called, the PDAs. There's a
Intercom?
no, there's a word for it in 40k specifically, and I can't remember what the damn thing is.
Yes.
But yes, essentially small little handouts, almost like a tablet, along those lines, and also being followed by a sister in the garb of the Order, and Dialogus Lilith. You follow in behind Zitra. She puts down the files and everything in what is essentially your inbox, which is a lot more full than your outbox currently, and says, Dialogus Lilith for you, Canoness.
Sister, welcome. You're muted, by the way, Sister Lilith.
Did it not come through?
Oh,
Sorry.
there we go.
It must
Okay.
have just not come through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Canoness?
Welcome. Yes. So I see that you are somewhat new, or rather new to this planet. Welcome. How has it been treating
Thank
you
you.
thus far?
Fine. Fine.
Good. You know, we have had quite a few requests come in for greater communication and reaching out to others, other factions, other groups, other orders. What's your experience like in what's your approach in how you generally reach out to others if you have to send out word on behalf of our order, the Order of Pure Intent?
Short and sweet. Short and sweet.
Good. I like that. Well, I think that you will be most welcome here. The Order of Pure Intent. We have had quite a few things happening in the past few weeks, few months, actually, and some newer things brought to our attention that we could use some assistance on.
I will do what I'm told.
Good. That is what I like to hear. Well, I won't bombard you with too many questions as of right now. We're thinking about sending out some of our sisters to investigate a recent discovery of some concerns, is what I'll put it at for now. We may have to communicate with some other chapters, not within Adepta Sororitas, but other Space Marines. Perhaps that's something you can help with.
If it's what I'm told, then it's what I'll do.
Perhaps I have you meet some of the other sisters.
And
Sounds
Zitra pipes up and says, "Would you like me to send word for the command squad to come and attend you?"
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Bows. Right away. And she shuffles out. As a note, I don't believe Lilith has ever had to deal with the Astartes, with the Space Marines before.
Not at all.
So, just for everyone involved to get an idea, it really does depend from order to order, from sister to sister. I would say in general there's mixed feelings about Space Marines. On the one hand, they are the angels of the Emperor. They are the best way to call them would be like the scalpel. They get sent into the worst places because they are the best warriors. They are almost faultless in their abilities, and they are extremely loyal. However, as some of us know, there was the Horus Heresy, and the sisters, to a degree, will be aware of that. The fact that there are traitor legions, the fact that there are traitor Astartes, and additionally to that, I think what could be seen as mutations, all the things that are done to them to make them super soldiers, essentially. Sisters aren't massive fans of mutations, because very often mutations lead to heresy, and heresy is bad. So I'll leave it down to you, Lilith, how you feel about the Astartes. It probably won't come into play until you actually meet them, but yeah, I would imagine at the very least, it would be you might be a little bit standoffish with them, I guess, just purely because even if they're not like offensive to you, they may still be a bit intimidating a little bit.
Sounds good.
So I would say that given there'll be a little bit of time, essentially, Helestri and Sareth, you will be called up to the office along with the rest of the command squad. So while you're en route, Sister Galatiya, it gives you an opportunity to look through what Zitra has brought to you in your inbox.
Yes.
So I will give you a little bit of details of what you can glean from a quick look through.
Okay.
Which is the advanced squad you sent to the mines. Essentially going there to do a quick kind of proper look over and secure it for if you want to send more sisters there, or anything else you can request for the Imperial Guard or the PDF to go and investigate it themselves. Have established a post and have sent a request to close down the mine so they can investigate it for heresy. As things currently stand, they are still keeping the mine active because the materials are needed for the war effort.
Who closed down the mines?
So it isn't closed down yet. They've sent they've sent a request to close down the mines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? I know that Sarah had suggested to Canoness to leave them open, so then that way we could track the infection. So I wasn't sure if that was the town's suggestion is to close it down, or
it was the advanced squad sent by the Canoness.
Oh, okay.
So they've secured the area just in case more troops want to be sent in. and there have been 3 more cases of sickness. The sickness has been quarantined, so the people have been quarantined, and the rest of the townspeople are subject to checks every 6 hours by the hospitaller there, Rian de Sora.
Okay. So there's another hospitaller there taking care of them. Okay.
The request is essentially to either close down the mine so they can start investigating it, or for more support.
Okay. Got it.
Additionally, there is a request for an audience by Lieutenant Makane Velvek. She is a member of the... There we are. She is a member of the 2nd Kurland Engineers, responsible for... essentially responsible for fortifying the world in preparations for an attack. And finally, Cardinal Esvelis Tylos is wanting to do a tour of the world of the hives and core defenses to raise morale of the Imperial forces and the populace, and has requested that you and your order plan and provide the security. The Cardinal was essentially the planetary governor until he ceded it to a war council. Still very important figure, very, like, he'd essentially be like the Pope, even without the power.
Okay. Okay.
The only other things has been a note of a higher proportion than expected of killed in action or missing sisters who have been sent off-world to participate in Imperial Guard strikes.
Okay.
Essentially, it was expected for more of the strikes to return, and they have either been confirmed killed or just haven't returned. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I assume that's some of our order also that has gone MIA or KIA.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's essentially.
But is that like a greater Adepta Sororitas problem, essentially? Like, a lot of sisters have gone missing, or something like that.
No, it's mostly within the order.
Okay.
There isn't much of a Adepta Sororitas presence in the sector. I mean, there was, but then there were the uprisings and the secessions, and they either died or haven't turned up again yet.
Got it. Okay.
And I will say, as you are considering these with Dialogus Lilith at attendance, but obviously waiting, the rest of the command squad, the command squad, is led in by Zitra, Sister Superior Rose, and Hospitaller Praxira, and along with, obviously, Standard Bearer, and the rest of the squad. There is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional sisters. You do, I'm pretty sure you have the list of them, but if you need it, just let me know.
Yes. Yeah. Ah, yes. Welcome, Sister Superior. Welcome,
Canoness.
sisters. Might I introduce you to our newest, who's just joined us, Dialogus, Sister Dialogus, Sister Lilith.
About like 8 heads turn over to look at you.
She just nods. Like there's very formal stance and just a nod.
I stand and I salute.
Yeah.
Sister.
Sister Lilith will be serving as our Dialogus, whom we've much needed for some time, serving as somewhat of a messenger to help us with many of the tasks we have, especially with dealing with various other factions and orders that we must eventually have to communicate with. So, I would like to have her included in some of our future and current discussions, as I have a couple of things I would like to draw everybody's attention to, as we have quite a few things coming in. First and foremost, I would like to give an update on the mining. I don't want to call it an incident, but the recent excursion that happened at the mines. Sister Lilith, to give you a bit of info, we had that was what I had alluded to earlier, and that one of the recent things that have come to our attention in the sector. There is a few additional individuals who have gotten sick.
But they have been purged.
They are currently quarantined. The additional ones, I should say. They are currently being tended to by another hospitaller, Hospitaller Rianne. I do think that we should get a full report from our hospitaller sister to make sure if her findings are similar to that of Sister Helestris. Then yes, I think the same fate should become of that. They should be purged. If there is any sign of heresy within our sector from the individuals becoming sick, I think it needs to be dealt with in the same manner. So I will send a note to get a report from that hospitaller, and perhaps Sister Helestri, you can take a look and identify if there are similar symptoms and see what the next steps will need to be from that prognosis. Additionally, the advanced squad that was sent out to take a look at the mines, they have suggested we close down the mines so they can investigate further for any signs of heresy. Wanted to get all of your thoughts on such an action, as I am hesitant to close down the mines, as A, it may cause a bit of concern among really everybody, and I do think that we need the mines to continue our production for our efforts, so I'm hesitant to shut them down completely, but I also do understand the need to take a further look at the mines. So I'd like to get all of your thoughts on that.
Helestri raises a hand.
Yes, Helestri, sister.
I look at her really sharply.
When she's not looking at Seraph, she looks only at Minerva. The moment she's addressed by Minerva, she gives like clicking of the heels and like hand over the heart, like a salute. And she says, "Canoness Commander, if I may say so, is there any knowledge of the ones who have also fallen sick? Have they gone into the mines recently? Perhaps we could link it so that that is actually something coming from the mines, and well, if so, I would say that temporarily closing them off wouldn't be such a bad idea." She glances at Seraph.
She just gives her a pointed stare, like just she's watching her like a hawk, but there's no emotion.
Okay. As you have, I assume, picked up the report from the advanced squad, yes, the members, the sick quarantined people are all members of the mining gangs that are sent down there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, verified that they are, in fact, all miners who are all also sick. So I think we can very much link what's happening in these mines to the potential heresy among our sector. So that does bring a bit more of a concern here, that perhaps we should close down the mines, and perhaps we should go in ourselves and make sure that we can find what's going on in there. I think they shouldn't be closed down for too long. A day or so, it is all we need to scour the area and purge anything that even resembles an inkling of this heresy. I see no issue with us being the ones to go in and take care of that. It would cause a bit of a stir. Perhaps we can do something for the members of the community local to the mine to make them feel a bit more at ease. Because again, we don't want to cause panic among the common folk if we do something like just raid the mines.
Canoness, if I may.
Yes.
It would be a great honor to serve under you on the field. However, do not allow the citizens' fear to cloud your judgment or distract you from the enemy. They are merely weak and fear those with power, and we are there to protect them.
We do have a duty, yes. We have a duty to protect the people and serve the Emperor. So that comes above all else. Sister, and you see like this kind of like this smile that almost looks a little fake upon you raising your head, like that kind of like, yes.
Well, Canoness Commander, I personally think your idea is brilliant because, well, you said yourself you don't want the mines to be closed off too long, and well, what better way to do that than to send in your best squad? And she points at Seraph when she says that.
Yes. I think that this is something our best squad could very easily handle. And like I said, not too much time. So we don't have to worry about the mines being closed for weeks or months. I think this can be something we take care of in a day or two. Do a sweep. See what we find. Clearly there is a link. So that is something we will need to take care of. Perhaps Sister Lilith can take care of the common folk and ease any concerns they may have about our duties there. Have them not worry if we are sweeping the mines, that they should continue upon their duties and their tasks. And those who do have to work in the mines, perhaps we should probably really take a look at all of them. If some of them are getting sick, we need to make sure that no others get sick or we make this worse. So we need to nip this in the bud as quickly as possible. We'll have to set up orders, set up our task force, get everything organized for this.
Canoness,
Yes.
I am to understand you correctly. You wish that an angel of the Emperor deal with the common folk?
The common folk have duties to serve the Emperor just as we do. They look to us to protect them, to make them feel safe, to let them know that everything is going in accordance to our God Emperor's will. So yes, I think that the common folk do need reassurance from one of our own. that all is well and will be taken care of on our behalf.
Understood. Forgive my insolence.
Not at all. I do not mind questions. It is fine to ask. And it is good to discuss what is to be done. So do not worry about that. There are a few other things that have come to my attention in the past couple of days. We actually, on top of course, this that we're dealing with, we are going to be having some visitors to our sector. And as per usual, we must show the utmost hospitality to such visitors. We have Lieutenant... we have a... we have a request for an audience from... Cardinal Esphilis Tylus. Hopefully I got that right.
Pretty good.
They are looking to do a tour of the sector and would like us to be their tour guides in a way, our escort, and keep them safe. So I would also like to send my best squad to take care of that and give them the utmost protection, help guide them around, and take care of them. They are a very important person that will be here, so we have to make sure that we show them the utmost hospitality from our order.
Understood, Canoness.
At that one, all of the other sisters, they kind of click their heels and say, "Yes, Canoness," in an echo.
I'll add. I'll add in. I think like Hilestri joins just a second later, like because at this point I want to say that while Minerva is like talking on and on, like not specifically addressing her, the words kind of fade to the background and she's not registering everything. She's just like listening and like looking at Minerva and just thinking like, God, she's so responsible. Like, look at her. She knows what to do about everything. Like, she's just, this is like so many problems. She's just handling it so easily. Like, look at the way she's speaking. And oh my God, is Seraph talking back to her? Who is she to question Minerva? And like that sort of thing, but the words aren't registering. So when everyone is like saluting, she like wakes up and like for a second, like salutes as well. But just to add context.
I would say as well, there's probably a sensation, a feeling, let's say, from the rest of the squad of a slight distance. Like, you're not quite as in sync with the rest of the squad. I think mostly because you're not predominantly a combat.
Yeah, I also would
aspect.
say, like, if they're talking about, like, oh, like, escorting these important people, like, Hilestri doesn't feel, like, into that because she's like, oh, I wouldn't need to go with them, right? Because I'm just like a hospitaller. So I think definitely.
Yeah.
Lilith was like right on it, right on the clicking of the heels, right on the salute, just like right into the battle. And you can just tell that her background is not where she's being put.
Yes.
And she's very much like looking at the captain being like, I idolize you. Yes, you're standing up, and just like full formal, like, oh, I like you.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad that it looks like Sister Minerva has her shit together. Yeah. Fake till you make it. No, I'm just kidding. She does have her shit together.
Yeah.
After that, after the question, she, you see Seraph eyes, just straight down, like not even looking anywhere else, just straight to the ground.
I am actually going to say, Sareth, could you give me a roll, please? Yes, I know we're doing a roll. It's unprecedented. So I'm going to ask you to give me an insight. However, you can take, and I'll see if I can add it in here for you. You can take additional 2 dice just purely because you served with Sister Minerva for quite a while.
Would I add anything? Oh no, I wouldn't add anything to the roll mod. I would just press roll twice, correct?
Yes. Oh no, just roll once. Yeah.
Oh, I rolled once. Did it work? Why did it not work?
Well, wait 1 sec. Try again, please.
Okay. And it was an insight?
Yes. Okay. As you may be aware, you don't have that many dice when it comes to charisma fellowship-based stuff.
Really?
mm.
I never figured that at all.
And you have no skill in insight either. But you do get 4 dice, and you did roll a success. So I won't give you the full down low. However, I would say, given that you did roll a success, and the fact that you, as I said, you do work, and have worked with the Canoness for quite a while, she is doing a good job, and she is staying on top of things. However, you can probably also tell that she is not receiving as much assistance as she used to, as a lot of the administrative part of the sisterhood has been requisitioned or moved to other parts. And she has been inundated with more responsibility since the crisis has started. So, still doing good.
So I notice a change, a slight change in how she goes about running things.
Yes. She seems to be very slightly less informed and less on top of things. Still managing to keep up, but there's a slip that you haven't seen before.
Well then.
All right.
Additionally, in the next couple of days, I will likely be meeting with with Lieutenant Lieutenant Machine. They've requested an audience, likely to make sure things are.
As a note, that audience is essentially like, so she's one of your guests in the convent. And that request is like, hey, could we meet pretty soon? Like, as soon as possible? Just as a sidebar.
Yes. So, I will likely be indisposed for a bit, as I will be meeting with Lieutenant Machine to likely discuss some of the general keeping things safe on the planet, fortifications, things like that. So I will be taking care of that. Perhaps the rest of you can get things sorted and organized and ready to go for this, getting ready to head out to the mines. Because we should probably take care of that rather quickly, or at least begin to take care of that, especially perhaps before Cardinal Esphilis does arrive. We don't want any rumors about things, dangers or heresy really going about with somebody so important visiting. So I would like to take care of that first, and then when the Cardinal arrives, things will be looking quite good for their tour. So perhaps we'll get yourselves sorted for that to head out, and then we can prepare for the latter.
Understood, Canoness.
And the rest of the sisters click their heels. Yes, Commander.
Wonderful. Any other questions or concerns that anybody would like to bring up?
Tracy, I can't quite remember, but last time when we talked about taking a sample, I remember the canon as being like it's something I would consider, but I don't remember there being a clear answer yet.
Yes. I think she mostly was like, we shouldn't have it. If there was to be a sample to test, perhaps we give it to somebody else to test.
Okay, cool.
That's why I was gonna say, and that's why they Seraph suggested to the Canoness when they were talking privately that they should have a Medicaid camp or whatnot, put detachment in the town, so we could have them study like the infection and see how rapid it's growing. And then that's when Sarah suggested that Halestri had the
Yes, which I would say yes, Sister Minerva is on board with that idea.
Yeah, but I don't think I would notice yet that you have like the proper idea. I think all I would know is that you had like said, "Oh, I'll like consider it like it's something."
Yes.
All right, cool. If I know that, we can continue on.
I was gonna say because once we leave or walk out the door, I was gonna say Halestri or Sereth would pull Halestri to the side when we get to that point.
Uh,
Okay.
I think honestly, Halestri wouldn't wait until then, and if the canoness says like, "Are there any other questions?" or stuff like that, she would yet again
Hand goes up
raise
again.
her
Yeah,
hand.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I figured as much. There's more.
But like
Yeah.
hesitantly, and she would say, "Canoness Commander, if we are to go back to the mines, next thing, um, I would it perhaps be wise to talk about the topic we've talked about before today, if things are so have to be so sped up, if not, that's totally fine. I just thought it would be important, but it can wait, of course, if you think it should wait. And she like looks like, because there's like other people in the room and stuff, she's like,
Which discussion was this?
I could await your command.
And
Canoness,
so,
was there a briefing
oh god,
that I was not privy to?
Halestri sweats.
Was there a briefing that I was not privy to?
There is a momentary sigh. Sister Sereth, yes. Sister Halestri came to me recently with some concerns about the oh my gosh, what's their name?
It was the magos biologists.
Yes. Magus man, these names.
Romecrian Creen.
Creen, Magus Creen, came to me with some concerns, which were very quickly addressed. Yes, normally we would, according to our protocols, she would go to you first to discuss.
I
such
apologize.
things. That's quite all right. It's all right. It was dealt with. I was actually already dealing with some things with Magus Creen, so it wasn't a problem.
She just stay silent.
Perhaps, Sister Halestri and Sereth, you can do a quick debriefing for Sister Lilith as well on the recent excursions to the mines. Get her updated on what happened since you were both there firsthand, as she will be joining you for this excursion.
That would be appreciated.
Yes, indeed. I would also like a briefing on things that were discussed. And she looks at Halestri.
Oh, she looks like she doesn't have a care in the world.
with very little acknowledgement of what's going on there. Sister Avicera actually steps forward. She is the squad, essentially sharpshooter. She uses a stalker pattern bolter, which is a bit more a bit more single shot, like almost like sniper rifle, not really quite there, but she steps forward and waits to be acknowledged.
Yes, sister.
Commander, I'm wondering what the rules of engagement for this mission will be. Do you wish us to protect the citizenry, or should we consider them to be possibly hostile and open to extermination if needed?
We should protect them first. However, any of the miners we should keep an extra eye on, as we do see that there might be an potential outbreak among the miners. So treat them as, if signs of heresy, we can purge, yes. But the general citizens we should protect from said heresy.
Yes, Commander. And she steps back into line.
I believe that should be all for now. Perhaps the debriefing should be in order. But other than that, I think we have our tasks set. So I would say tomorrow then we head out to the mines.
Halestri is the first to salute. Like, because she feels like she's been dismissed.
Yeah. Probably like half a second after Halestri like salutes.
Yeah.
The rest of the squad like click their heels and give the side of the killer. It's like, yes, Commander, and they turn almost pretty much completely in sync. I'm assuming led by Sareth there.
Yes.
So, we will follow Sareth and Halestri out as they have a small conversation to have outside, but, a question, is Lilith going with them, or do you need to, okay.
Yes.
In that case, before we head out, Zitra will, like bend down, like as they're walking out and everything. It seems like she's been waiting for the dismissal, but can't really wait much longer. She bends down to kind of like semi-whisper in your ear, and she says, Canoness, we have just picked up a flight plan from the capital. It seems that the Cardinal is heading in this direction, likely to have a word, to engage in a meeting with you. His ETA is in 2 hours.
Oh, it's arriving today. Lovely.
Additionally, the lieutenant is still waiting for you. Would you like me to dismiss her, or are you able to see her?
I will see the lieutenant now. Would you mind letting Sister Sareth and her order know that the Cardinal will be here in the next 2 hours, and perhaps we change our order of direction and we'll have to deal with the Cardinal first.
Yes, Canoness. I'll inform them that the operation is delayed for a few hours.
Thank you.
And she bows and shuffles out. For the sake of the flow, essentially the squad, consider yourselves informed, but what we will do is we will now follow the squad outside, and as they start to go about their duties and start preparing, even if it's going to be a delay of a couple of hours, you still need to prepare your gear and everything. So they go to start doing that type of thing as they split up on their own duties. Is there a conversation that is going to be had?
will probably, but I will say, like, as everyone comes outside and like starts dispersing, I think Halestri like just makes the same move, to just disperse.
Okay.
Sister Halestri.
She turns around. She looks at Sareth. Sister Superior?
We have a debriefing.
Right. I'll follow your lead.
And we will walk to a side room or whatnot, like probably
a meeting room. I booked it
like
for
a meeting
45
room.
minutes, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put in a 45-minute block in a meeting room A.
Yes. It is extremely easy for what is essentially the right hand of the Canoness to clear a room. So I would say, for the sake of this,
She walks into the room and she goes, "Leave!
and
Clear out!"
immediately the 5 or 6 sisters who were possibly having some form of meeting or something look up, startled, immediately duck their heads and shuffle out. And the door is closed.
She walks very calmly, but you can tell there's like a rigidness to her, and she has her hands behind her back, and she turns and faces as she's in front of the table, and she goes, "Sister Halestri, we're here for a debriefing. Please, would you elaborate on your discussion with Canoness Minerva so that we both," and then she turns to Lilith, "may be privy to the current situation?"
Sister Superior, perhaps there's a slight misunderstanding. The situation with the magos has no influence on our current situation. The magos
So the
wanted...
discussion that you had with Canoness Minerva, behind my back, without my clearance, had absolutely nothing to do with the current situation at hand.
Only that the magos wanted information, but since the magos is a guest of the Canoness Commander, I thought it only fair to ask the Canoness Commander if I was privy to give any information to the magos, which she said no, and that's where we are.
Sister Halestri?
Sister Superior.
You are under my supervision, under my care. I will not accept insubordination. Are we clear?
Crystal light clear.
If the Magus seeks information, he will get nothing from us. Are we clear?
Perfectly clear. It's the same answer the Canoness Commander gave.
I know. And just to make sure that we are absolutely crystal clear, any conversation that you wish to have with Canoness Minerva will go through me.
There is no change on her expression, but there's definite annoyance as you say that inside of her. But she's like, she has a pretty good poker face, like the calm poker face, so it doesn't change.
I cannot accept such defiance or rebellion from those under my command, especially you, Sister Halestri. Especially if you are to head the Medicae detachment in the town to study the infection, as per approved by Canoness Minerva.
I followed the advice of other Medicae, which was foolish as to not follow your advice. I will know better in the future, Sister Superior.
Remember that you are representing myself, the rest of your squad, and most importantly, the Emperor. You will do your duties with dignity. Understood?
There is never a moment in the day that I forget that.
We shall see. Sister Lilith, is there anything that you wish to be privy to before we dispatch?
Yes. Sister, everything that happened in the mines as per your expedition that you deem important.
I have already proposed to Canoness Minerva that we send a special detachment down into the town. One with a Medicae. We will leave the mines open, but it will be heavily guarded. We do not wish to bring the infected, or the infection itself, the heresy, to more civilians. So we will try to contain it. If it seems unruly, then we will purge it with fire.
Understood. How many have been infected?
I was only privy to the one, in which Sister Halestri purged with holy fire. However, there seems to be more. A few more to report. The infection is spreading. And if we do not find the source of it in time, well, we know
That's
what we
not
must do.
It's not an option. We will find it. And
Agreed.
We will purge it.
And we will do so in the Emperor's name. Halestri,
Sister Superior.
please make sure you are familiar with the rest of the Medicaid detachment. They will be under your order.
So am I to be perfectly clear that when we go to the mines, there will be a Medicaid attachment already joining us?
Over the table, I can't remember if Sister Minerva is that what we were proposing when we just did our briefing, or when we said that we would head down there? Like, would there be, I mean, obviously, since we're going down there, I feel like there would be a Medicaid attachment.
Yes, essentially, it would most likely be either from the PDF or the Imperial Guard.
Okay.
But just purely because you don't have that many Hospitallers, and they are again, for the sisters, a lot of their support, like the less military, more the Dialogus, the Hospitallers, very often get attached to like Imperial Guard regiments and etc. So they tend to, which is why Lilith hasn't been around and why there are so few Hospitallers available. Halestri probably isn't the highest ranking. She's probably the highest ranking available. And being in the command squad does carry a certain weight of authority. Even if Halestri doesn't carry much herself.
Okay. I will say, correct, Sister Halestri. Once we are there, you will be permitted under Canoness Minerva's clearance that you will be able to study the infection.
There's like a small, like tiny falling of the poker face when she mentions that like Minerva allowed it to be that way. So there's like a slight tinge of surprise there. Sheepy, just to know, I'm assuming that the Medicaid who will be joining us then, like they're not in the convent right now, and they'll be joining us when we go there. So like, if I were to meet them, I'll just meet them there on the location.
Yes.
Yeah.
cool.
Although
Yeah.
there is another hospitaller there. So
I know the one because it's the one I talked to before, right?
yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, cool. She will like be surprised for a minute, then say, thank you, Sister Superior. I will do everything in my power given by the Emperor to make sure that it goes as smoothly as possible, and I will not let you down.
Good. I would hate for you to fail.
Good
This is your
thing it
chance
won't
at redemption.
happen. Well, it's a very good thing for both of us, Sister Superior, that it will not happen that I will fail then.
Excellent. This debriefing is done. You are dismissed, Sister Halastri.
She clicks her heels and leaves.
Lilith also clicks her heels. The minute you say it's done, it's like
Yeah.
instant.
It's just a little, like, she just, like,
it's
bows her
just
head.
instant. Bow,
Yeah.
Salute and out.
As you head off, Lilith, one of the other sisters from the command squad kind of joins in step with you as you're walking, and she says, Sister Lilith, right?
Yes? Who's asking?
I'm Iona. I operate the heavy flamer for the squad.
Hello.
I was just wondering, from what I've heard, you were attached to the Imperial Guard regiments?
This is correct.
I've been embedded before with the Imperial Guard. It's a slightly more simple assignment. Did I hear right that you're gonna be dealing with nobles and important VIPs now?
We all do the duty that we are told to do, and this is what I've been told to do. You notice her shoulders get a little bit tense, and she looks not perceivably uncomfortable, but she's just she's walking a little stiffer.
Well, I don't envy you your job. I much prefer the simple. I just go where I'm told and point and press.
That's the best job there is.
Alright, well, I should go prepare. We should be heading off reasonably soon.
So many fans of Sister Lilith. Word travels fast.
Sister.
Oh, who were you attached to? I can give you this as well, by the way. You were attached to the 102nd Eritlander Vanguard.
102nd. Got it. 102nd Vanguard.
I can jump it. Actually,
I'm just DMing it to you. Perfect.
So I'll just throw in our chat. I'll add it to the reference notes as well.
Mm-hmm.
These are the regiments of the Imperial Guard currently positioned on the planet. You have the 12th Sisyphean Guard. They are from the planet of Atlast and experts in defensive sieges. You have the 24th Krabarian Armored Corps, tanks and heavier armor. The 102nd Eritlander Vanguard, who are usually on the front lines of battles. Technically speaking, this is not the front line because currently the Imperium is sending forces to attack ships and planets as and when they can, mostly surgical strikes. However, considering that in this sector you're essentially the last bastion of the Imperium, you're on the front line. The entire planet is the front line against a insurrection and heresy. So, also the 2nd Kurland Engineers and the 4th Cyrilk artillery. So, you don't have a super massive load of forces in terms of Imperial Guard. The most of it is kind of bolstered by the PDF and obviously sisters and okay. Oh, question for Sister Galatiya. Did you say that you were going to receive the lieutenant? Did we touch on that? For Minerva?
Sorry, I think I just lost audio.
Oh, okay.
I might have missed. I might have missed the last thing you said.
Oh, no problem, no problem. I was asking, did you say you were going to receive the lieutenant?
Yes,
Okay.
I am going to. Yep.
And then obviously the Cardinal's coming as well, so that's going to be fun for everyone involved.
Yep.
All right. Oh, and additionally, I don't know if you caught it. If you caught it, I threw the regiments in.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, in the chat. So I'll add those in to the reference notes. But yeah, for now, if you need to reference any of the regiments, they're there. All right. In that case, we will assume that the command squad, which is the 3 of you, and the rest of them are essentially preparing. You are sent word that the mission is going to be delayed for a few hours to allow for the arrival of the Cardinal, just to essentially make sure that you are that the place seems official, I guess. You know, just like, yeah, let's just hold off on sending our crack team of fighters away, just in case the Cardinal, you know, the place is attacked because the Cardinal's here. Yes, Celestri.
Just to ask, I was planning to go to the magos to basically say, hey, I can't give you any information, because that seems polite to do to the guest. Is it like polite enough for me like to wait until we're like back from stuff, or would it be better for me to do it right now?
I would say you'd be able to do it before you head off. You have enough time
Cool.
now. If you were going immediately, then you wouldn't have the time. But
Yeah,
as
okay.
it's been delayed, yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Just so you know, I will do that then.
Noted. Okay. So, Canoness, you are joined by the lieutenant of the 2nd Kurland Engineers. She is essentially a important go-between between the organization of the planetary defenses, between her regiment, and yourself and your order. So when she enters, she gives a respectful salute and stands at attention, as if she was talking to one of her commanders.
Minerva will give also a kind of stand up and give some formal pleasantries. Lieutenant, it is good to see you.
Thank you, Canoness.
So I hear you have some things to report. At least you wanted to request an audience.
Yes, Mom. Well, and she kind of goes from straight at attention to the kind of more at ease, which is still stiff and formal, but just very slightly more relaxed. and she says, I have come with a request from my regiment and also from myself. We have been having some difficulty fortifying a section of Hive Calliades. The lower outer wall is in need of fortification and conversion to a more industrial purpose. Currently speaking, it is used as a subsistence farming area to provide some small measure of food to the hive. However, as things are currently standing, we will be in much more in need of munitions and of production. Therefore, we will be moving out the farmers and the residents and turning it into a manufactorium of small proportions and a fortified base of the hive. However, currently the locals are protesting and we are unable to bring the full force of the guard in to deal with it. So I have been asked to request to you that you, if you are able, lend us some of your forces to help disperse the mob and to claim the area so it may be converted.
Yes. Understood. Actually, so this area that they are looking to convert, just curious, where is it in relation to like the current other matters at hand, the mine and stuff? How close is it? Just so I can get a lay of the land.
So I would say the mine is about maybe about 3 hours by all of this will be by flyer, flyer transport. So about 3 hours for the mine in a more kind of like south easterly direction from where you are. The hive is a little bit closer. It's about an hour away, up to the north of where you are. The hives, it's the closest hive to you, which is probably why they've come to request it of you. There's a few multiple hives dotted around, and then lots of like very holy cathedrals and kind of a lot of since everything has happened with the insurrections on other planets, etc., and this planet has turned more towards fortress as opposed to cardinal world. The populations have stopped being quite so spread out and all congregated around the chapels and the churches and the cathedrals. Like for example, yours is set reasonably high up on a kind of plateau rock, but all below that there are springing up like little townships and kind of. I'm not going to call it a shanty town because there has been engineers helping to build the houses and everything, but it's kind of pretty subsistence level housing, and pilgrims are coming in from all over to gain the protection of sisters, the order, the Imperial Guard, etc.
Yes. Yes, we will do what we can. We'd be happy to send in some forces to assist with this and keep the order, keep the peace. I think you and I can agree the most important thing is to keep things as peaceful as possible. We don't want resorting to any violence, of course. But I'm sure with some of the order there, we should hopefully keep the crowds tame and understanding of what needs to be done and keep it as peaceful as possible.
Any assistance you are able to lend us, Canoness, will be much appreciated. My men cannot go ahead with the fortifications, much less the conversion, until the local populace has been, to some degree, either removed or mollified.
Of course, we will make sure to move them.
Thank you very much, Canoness. In that case, I do not want to take up much of your very precious time. I will leave this in your hands and appreciate your assistance.
Of course, Lieutenant. And if there's anything else we can do, we would be happy to assist.
I'm so tempted to roll an insight for her right now.
Well, I'm ready for it. Well, now that you mention it, and then I'm like, oh, great. What did I do?
I mean, she's not going to ask for anything else, but I'm so tempted. Let's just do a quick roll, shall we, and see how she does. No successes. Okay. Well, whatever your true feelings about the offer you just made stays with you, luckily. Don't even have to roll against it, honestly. She didn't do well. There's 0 successes. That is very much appreciated, Canoness, and I will pass the offer along to my superiors.
Of course. Other question is, is this something they're actively, essentially they're like, hey, can you give us support like now, essentially? Yeah, okay.
I mean, so the impression you got and from the reports, essentially it's not going to be great on the food for the hive, so there's a possibility of a few thousand people at least starving. But I mean, Imperium things, you know. But there is a distinct lack of supply in terms of ammunition and weaponry, so it's more important to start producing at least ammunition and some of the basic materials needed for fortifications to keep fortifying the planet.
Okay.
Hopefully, reinforcements will turn up with more supplies and stuff in the next week or so. Maybe longer, depending on the warp. But there's no guarantee. And so, essentially, the sooner they get moved out, the sooner that can start happening, and the more supplies, kind of munitions and etc. will be available.
Okay.
So it's not a case of, like, if this doesn't happen, everything will explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question, so Sister Superior Rose is going to be handling like the VIP and dealing with the mine stuff, so their order will be pretty occupied. Do I have another squad essentially that I can send out to deal with this?
You have a good, like, I'd say maybe not including Sister Rose, you have about 19 squads in total.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's around about 10 to each squad.
Yeah. Okay. So I would like to send probably like 4 or 5 squads out to handle this.
Okay.
Well, I guess I would, kind of get an idea of like how many people are there and just do a bit of like that calculation, and then Sister Minerva will make an educated like, okay, we're gonna send out this X amount, but I'm not gonna send like my best people out there, but this is still a task I think is important for us to handle to keep order on the planet. So she will send out not like the top tier, but like the mid tier. I
can give you a vague vibe of how many people you're dealing with here. It's around about 7 to 10,000 people. Kind of like sitting in and protest. They're not protesting; they're just refusing to move. And the PDF and the Imperial Guard don't have the forces in the area to deal with it. The Arbiter can get involved, but they're not great at peacefully moving people along, so it's going to turn into a riot. And
right. Okay.
The reports you receive are essentially like the easiest and most likely way to do this without damaging anything around, and would be for a military force to come in, either the sisters or the guard, It looks like as things stand, you'll probably be seeing the Armored Corps. They're the Crabarian Armored Corps, 24th Crabarians, would be available in maybe 3 or 4 days. By that time, a lot of time would have been lost. So.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so
Oh.
if that's the
Sorry,
Yeah.
as a note, you do have access to obviously vehicles and things as well. So you can send out a couple of like tanks and that type of
Okay.
thing.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then I think I would send out like a pretty sizable group with tanks and supplies. Again, not like my top tier people because I still need them for other important tasks, but
Yeah.
I think this is important enough to send out, a good amount of our crew out there.
So how many squads do you want to send?
I would probably say like 10 to 12. If I have only like 19, that's quite a few.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people.
There are a lot of
so-
people, but keep in mind that they're just average civilians.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Let's have a roll.
Okay. Yeah.
See
that's
if
a good
I can
idea.
help you here a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
In this instance, I think I will ask you for a leadership.
Ah, good. That's a good one. Okay. Do. One sec. Why is it not rolling?
Is it not?
I hit the little die.
Oh. Okay, I know why
Did I?
this. There is a thing you have to click, which I apparently didn't do, or it didn't save. So you should be able to do it now.
Let's see.
There you go.
Oh, I might have clicked it a few times.
It's cool. I will take the first result.
Okay.
So 3 successes, pretty good. It depends on what you want to do. If you think that it's going to devolve into a full-on fight, then I would say you'd probably want to send. I would say about eight squads, maybe 9 or 10 if you're feeling worried about the situation. If you just want a reasonably sizable force to disperse them, I'd say 5 squads with a couple of tanks, maybe some, like maybe 1 tank, 1 rhino transport, that type of thing, would be sufficient. Like, there are a lot of them, but in general, the sight of the sisters is enough to disperse a crowd, and the sight of sisters fully prepared to kick some ass. And if things turn bad, again, unless you're dealing with like some ridiculously organized faction, which all intel reports indicate you're not, the majority of people will run away.
Okay.
If your sisters do end up firing, and
Okay. Yeah, let's send 8
Okay.
squads and then like a tank. A tank or 2.
A tank and a couple support vehicles. let's say.
Yes. Yes. I think that should do it.
So 8 squads plus 3 plus tank and support. Okay. And that's going to the engineers.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
To help with the hive.
All right. So in that case, you have 11 sisters squads
11
currently available
squads
to you.
left. Yes.
If you'd like, just as kind of a less important thing, you can kind of disseminate those squads for now to local areas just to like police and calm down the populace, and do any kind of investigating and intel gathering you like. But as things currently stand, they are training and preparing for war. So
Yeah. I might send a few. Yeah, actually, that might be a good idea because I suspect things might get a little more heated as we're gonna
As
be.
time goes on, yeah.
Yes, so I would like to send some out to the general populace as well. And then yes, of course, keeping some still close to help with Sister Rose's tasks. So I'm not gonna send all of them out, but
Okay.
yeah, I'll
So,
send a few.
what I will say is, like,
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, they will be sent out to the local area, and if you need them, they can be back quick enough that it won't be much different from if they were here. You know, maybe like an hour delay at max.
Okay.
So they'll still be active and ready for duty. The other ones who are sent off to the hive, obviously, they'll be a fair few more hours away, and it will take longer for them to react to any requests and etc. you have.
Got it.
How many do you want?
5, maybe?
Leaving you
think
6 here?
that's-
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's good.
I will keep that in mind as we go forward.
Putting everybody to work.
Keeping some eyes out that are your own. Like, don't get me wrong, the rest of the Imperium, they do send you reports and everything, but as with pretty much every organization or, force in the existence, having your own people out there tends to help a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay. In that case, the lieutenant has left, and you have sent your orders. For now, Zitra shuffles in without a knock this time, and puts down on your table a very familiar glass-heated and bubbling tea that has some salt crystals in it and rose.
Just what I needed.
As things stand, you have a few reports and things to go through. Nothing of any particular interest yet. You have an hour or so until the Cardinal shows up. So it's not free time, but it's as close as you've gotten in
Yes.
a little while.
I will honestly take the time to make sure everything is prepared for the Cardinal's arrival. Make sure the floors are scrubbed to the utmost. Make sure everything's in order. The squads that I just sent out, make sure that they're kind of out and about, like have them hastily move so it's not like a whole mess while the Cardinal's here. But maybe I even get like one of the squads that I'm leaving back here to do like some sort of demonstration for the Cardinal when he arrives, to just kind of show off the cool stuff that we do. And yeah, so you would see Sister Minerva kind of still during this downtime, like preparing for the arrival of the Cardinal.
So what we're learning is Minerva has no off switch.
Yeah.
she cannot chill.
What the amount of work
It's
that
true.
I've got on my plate, there's no time to rest.
True. Okay. In that case, we will fade the camera on Minerva still like standing up, not even sitting down, and with
Sipping the tea, a little bit, having tea, multitasking here.
Yeah, with Zitra there nodding and receiving orders and getting ready to send them out. Minerva's like this and this and pointing, and then sort of to sip of tea, and then and the camera fades and fades back in on a so to set this a little bit, the area occupied by the magos is very, very different from the rest of the monastery. It is filled with bustling servitors. For those of you who don't know, servitors are essentially mindless worker drones. They are criminals, or maybe even like a cowards who run from battle, this type of thing, who have essentially been lobotomized and replaced with very basic programming to pick up, to move, to do certain things. For all of you, this would be the equivalent to seeing like, I don't know, seeing like a car or something, you know, in real life. It is essentially a tool that wanders around and does stuff.
Don't worry. They all deserved it.
Yeah. Very, very much like when I mentioned earlier, how, you know, they're switching over to munitions and like burning a whole load of farmland to turn it into, and maybe thousands of people will die. 40k, like it's just what happens. Oh, it's a fun old time. So Hospitaller Pelestri. You are presented with this bustling, you can almost hear the hum of power cables, and you see the bustle of these servitors in this kind of large laboratory area. And at the front of it are two members of your orders, two sisters, who are essentially standing guard in front. And as you walk up, one of them holds her hand out and says, "Hold."
She stops politely.
Sister, do you have business here?
Yes, sisters. The magos asked for my presence, so I'll just wait here until you inform him that I'm here.
You are Hospitaller Praxera, right?
Yes, that's me.
He has already added you to the list of guests who should be allowed through. Please do proceed in.
Great, I shall do just that.
And they both salute you and kind of, you know, do the heel click and salute, and yeah.
She like does a little heel click back and continues on, thinking that was unnecessary for them to say that I'm on the guest list since I'm invited here, but like thanks anyway. Yeah. She'll head in, and she has never been here before, so she kind of looks around, keeps walking forward, and tries to spot him somewhere.
Oh, he's very, very obvious. He is quite large compared to all of the other inverted commas people. The majority of workers in here are servitors. It looks like there's a few adepts. They're essentially like tech priests, assistants, essentially. They're not much higher up than the servitors, but they are higher. They are technically alive. But he is hulking and he almost looks like he should be on all fours. The way he's hunched over, he's got this massive like kind of hunchback and this kind of like red and gold robe that's kind of pushed over his head, and he is moving reasonably slowly. But as he does, from under his robe, these kind of like almost like, think Dr. Octopus, those kind of like tentacly type things. They're called mechadendrites in this. But they're like moving out and they're like picking things up and switching them to other tables. There's a lot of kind of like bubbling glass flasks and things being held over fires to bubble, to like boil over. And there's even like to the side or like against the wall, there are a couple of like these big green liquid filled kind of glass vial things about like double your size, with like vague shadowy things that look like possibly people or something in there, but the liquid's a bit too thick and a bit too like not translucent to see through.
Just to ask, go into this, I know that for example, Seraph has a very hard opinion on this guy, and I was wondering if like there's anything I need to be aware of to like have a like prejudgment of this guy already, or am I good the way I'm like right now?
I would say you probably don't have. You probably don't have too much instances of working. Oh no, you are a.
I was gonna say, like, what was it? If she's a
Yeah.
hospitala, I think she like would hear through the grapevine. She wouldn't have direct contact with a magus or a tech priest, but I feel like she would like hear of them.
I would imagine you've had instances of dealing with tech priests and very possibly like kind of more biologists, like inclined tech priests before. You probably haven't dealt with a magos. A magos is pretty high ranking. I'd say equivalent, if not higher, of Sister Minerva, depending on your like perspective.
He's like a 4070 super, you know, instead of the, you know, the basic GPU, which is like, you know, what is like 2070.
So I wouldn't have Seraph's ideology where she heavily detests tech priests.
I would say probably not. It does kind of come down to you as well, but I would say, given that he's a Magos Biologus, they are geared towards essentially study of biological things. So it does fit in reasonably nicely with a Hospitaller in terms of like, he does research diseases and plagues and...
Is there any form of collaboration, or like not specifically for me then, but has there been collaborations for Hospitallers?
Oh, I'd say almost definitely, yeah. Although it may also go badly because, you know.
Yeah, all right. Oh, but they don't worship the Emperor.
Okay. So technically they worship the Omnissiah. The way
Right, you said that.
Yeah, the way they get around it is they claim that the Omnissiah is part of a bigger whole that includes the Emperor, and the Emperor is like the word. It almost like, not exactly, but consider the Emperor like Jesus to the Omnissiah's God, kind of thing.
All right, so
I feel like people don't question it too much because it's like, we kind of need the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's kind of, they have this like
kind
of what is it called, a symbiotic like relationship, even though they're just like they don't care for them, but it's like at the same time they're kind of like a necessity.
Yeah,
I get it. It's very much we won't question ideology here. We'll just not talk about religion. We'll talk about what we need.
It's like us in the real world and politics. We all know it's there, but we don't talk about it in polite company.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Then I have all the background information I need for this.
Okay.
If she spots the Magos, she will like click her heels, give a little bow of the head, and say, could I say like Magos Creolin? Is that like a proper way to say it? Okay, sure. Magos Creolin, I am here as per your delivery.
As you announce yourself, his head turns round, and you can see like it's fairly hard to see. There's a fair amount of mechanical bits and bobs in the way, but you do see that his eye, that had been kind of like a fairly piercing like white blue, kind of like there's a little bit of a whir and a shift, and it shifts into green. And there's like the kind of like low green light coming from this like almost like glass or mechanical piece in his eye, and he says, "Ah,
yes, Hospitaller. Have you come to deliver your report to me as I have previously requested?
Oh, no. You see, Magos, I was forbidden to share any information on the current situation so far, so I dread to inform you that I cannot give you any reports at this moment, even though I am sure you are also interested in the happenings.
I was intending on looking further into the rumors of some type of sickness at the mining town. However, if you've been instructed to not divulge that information, I can understand that you will be unable to deliver it to me as I have requested. And therefore, further questioning would be unproductive.
I am so glad you understand. Rest assured, the sickness will be looked into and will be diagnosed and taken care of. Alas, until it is decided by my superiors, no information shall be given about it.
Yeah, you heretic.
It follows, of course, that I would understand my cognitive functions are fairly vast. I do have further questions unrelated directly to what occurred at the mining town, however, if you would allow me a few of your minutes.
As long as it does not involve any of the mining incident, I have not had any orders to not share anything else.
This is good to know. Question 1. Will you be returning to the mining town at any point in the prescient future?
I'm afraid, Magos, that does involve the mining incident.
It does not involve the mining incident. It involves the mining town.
And the mining town is involved in the mining incident. Hence, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against sharing information with one such as you, because I'm sure we can learn a lot from you. However, my orders are strict.
Question the 2nd. Will you be going out on mission anytime in the future?
Oh, yes.
When?
Today, possibly. Tomorrow.
Noted. I have heard an extreme amount of additional movement and commotion on the layers above this one. Is there something of note that is happening in the convent currently that my attention should be drawn away from my work for?
As far as I'm aware, there...
Just as a sidebar, you have been informed that the mission is delayed for a couple of hours because the Cardinal is visiting. So.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know whether you want to tell him that or not, but
Yeah, no, cool. I was, I caught up to that. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing that requires your specific knowledge or information going on right now, except for the mining incident, which sadly cannot be indulged.
Question 3. Are you entirely certain that you are a Hospitaller? I ask because you act much more like some of the dialogus of your order I have dealt with in the past.
Seeing as you are an esteemed guest of the Canoness Commander and a valuable member in this convent currently, and your knowledge far outreaches some of the Medicae currently here, I will not take offense to your question, as I'm sure none was meant. However, I rest assure you, I am much specified and exceeding in my hospitaller functions, and I will be doing so still in the future. It is my way to praise the Emperor, fight for him, and I shall continue to do it as such.
Of course. I cannot say that I am not disappointed in this turn of events. However, I must accept that you are under your orders and cannot circumnavigate them.
And I would not have any reason to want to circumnavigate them.
Indeed. Well, if I am approached later in the course of this unfortunate outbreak, I may be too busy to lend my assistance, but I am sure I will do my best.
If the Canoness Commander or anyone else decides it is the best way forward to need to call upon your discretion and your services while you are an esteemed guest here and no work would be required from you normally, I am sure that they will inform me, and then if such an happening were to occur, I can inform you all about the mining incident then. Up until then, sadly, your knowledge will be kept for yourself.
Of course. Your presence in informing me is appreciated and has been logged. However, as this is a place of research and knowledge, your presence here is no longer needed. Please do evacuate the area.
I shall evacuate the area right now.
She gives a little click of the heels. Magos. And she turns around, leaves.
Once you are out of the, I'd say probably starting to ascend back up to the kind of ground floor. You're currently, this area is in the basement,
Yep.
underneath. I'd say you probably hear a couple of smashes and some strange, like, it's hard to describe binaric, but it's essentially like zeros and one. It's like machine code, basically. A little bit of screeching and etc. And some smashing glass.
All right, I'll give a little nonchalant peek over the shoulder.
Yeah.
But I'll keep walking.
And yeah. Honestly, that was always going to be a bit of a rough prospect. You're telling a tech priest no. something he's interested in. It's like,
hey, look, buddy, I would love to share information, I would love to chit chat, giggle with little T about all of the medical knowledge we can share. But alas, I've already got my ass handed to me twice today. We're not going for a third time.
Yeah. All right then. I think we will fade away and move forward in time a little bit to the intended impromptu visit from the Cardinal. However, luckily for you, you have picked up on the traffic report that indicates he is going to be visiting, and have prepared a arrival for him, I am assuming here. So as his transport lands on your one of your landing areas, he has met Sister Minerva. Would you like to
Yes.
embellish here?
Yes, I think I would have like rows of sisters standing like on each side when he exits, like kind of like in attention, to make it really like we got our shit together. But she stands at the end and walks forward, and actually she'd probably have her second in command join her. So Sister Seraph. At her, next to her, and the two of them walk.
I was just gonna say, could I suggest having Lilith with you as well?
Yes, actually, that makes sense. So like, Minerva in the center, maybe to the right is Seraph, and to the left is Lilith, and they're like walking down this row of all of these sisters lined up as the transport of the Cardinal begins to land, and they exit.
And as you start to walk forward and the door, the back of the transport opens as the Cardinal is let out, interestingly, by a couple of attendants himself. Nothing particularly of import, just essentially like his assistants, the equivalent of the twins for you. Are with him. All of the sisters in unison click their feet together. You get that like stamp, and you get also the kind of like metallic clank as they bring their weapons up to a at attention position as you start to move down and the Cardinal starts to move out. So the Cardinal is it's always hard to tell with people in positions of power because they do have access to life extension, medical supplies, and so someone who looks in their 50s could be a couple of 100 years old, but he seems to be probably in his late 30s, early 40s, very well enrobed, kind of I would say you can tell that by the way, you can tell by his bling, he has been in charge of the planet. He was the planetary governor, he was the Cardinal of a cardinal world, very religious, and I would say you have had dealings with him, not always directly, but on a regular basis, and you've had enough meetings and things that you're familiar with him and he's familiar with you. So as he steps out, there is he has a refined bearing, but there's a little bit of a smile there, and he reaches out as you step up to him, and he says, Canoness Galatiya, I should not be surprised that you were expecting me.
Cardinal Tylus, the minute I heard that your arrival was expected, I made sure everything would be ready for you, and we are happy to have you on our lovely planet.
I was hoping to take you by surprise. Unfortunately, I have failed.
Nothing takes the Sisters of Battle by surprise, Cardinal, I assure you.
Of course. I wonder, could we proceed to your offices and maybe we could have a glass of tea?
Of course, of course. Might I introduce you to our Sister Superior Seraph Rose.
Cardinal.
Sister Superior.
And our Sister Dialogus, Sister Sestra Lilith. Hopefully I said Serestra. Sorry, Serestra Lilith.
Oh, you have a new Dialogus. Wonderful. I look forward to our communications very much. Dialogus Lilith.
And to you. It's very lovely to meet you.
Now then, yes, to my office. I'm sure there is much to discuss, and I will make sure we have a nice spot of tea ready. Zitra, I look over to Zitra.
Yes, Canoness.
If you wouldn't mind getting the tea ready.
Immediately. And she
Thank you.
moves off and away.
And I direct him back in. And of course, keeping everything as formal as possible, keeping the formalities up with, all of the sisters in line and everything. And they stay to attention till we exit.
And once that happens, they relax and then go at ease and then head off to mostly prepare and things like that. On the walk, the Cardinal says, reasonably conversationally, I hear there are some minor barricades on the way to the conversion of this world. Certain pockets of the populace who are objecting to being moved around or displaced.
Yes, there has been some small excursions and things that things being moved around. There's some areas that are being repurposed for more industrial things, of course, to better advance the planet. We're handling it mostly. We're dealing, moving some of them around, making sure that they are placed elsewhere. But yes, mostly everything has been handled on our end, or it is being handled.
Of course. And as was the case before our current turbulent times came upon us, we, like every other planet under the Imperium, have our hotheads and have our instances of disturbances. So I doubt it is too much to worry around.
Of course, yes. I'm not terribly worried, and I do trust that our order, the Order of Pure Intent, of course, is always on top of things and keeping the peace on this planet. So far, things have been going quite well for us. So I'm confident it will remain that way.
I'm sure the Emperor will see us through these dark times, as he always has.
Of course.
And
You missed a riveting speech the other day that I brought to the order. I'm sure you would have enjoyed it. The talks of serving the Emperor as always, and how our order in particular has been forged with great purpose to serve and do everything we can to drown out the whispers of heresy among this planet.
yes, I did actually receive a transcript of the speech.
Oh, lovely.
I was impressed with the force of conviction.
That is all
Aye.
we have here, is conviction.
Well, even among a bastion of conviction, you show yours shines through. And he turns his head and he to the left, I think, and says, Sister Superior, I have received reports of your daring deeds on the battlefield multiple times at this juncture. I must extend my thanks for your service to the Emperor and to this world.
Cardinal, there's no need to thank me. I'm only doing my duty.
There is no need to give thanks for someone doing their duty. However, appreciation should sometimes be extended.
I strive to shine in the Emperor's light.
I'm sure you do. And possibly in the future, once we have broken through this current crisis, I may see about requesting your services, maybe give you a break from battle.
the Emperor wills it.
Well, and if your Canoness wills it too. But I have a couple of favors I can call in.
You see Sister Minerva kind of eye a bit at that, but yes, I trust it will only be for a short amount of time, of course. I cannot be losing one of my my best leaders among this order for too long, of course.
Canoness.
It,
She nods her head.
it depends how useful she makes herself. I may put up a fight, Minerva.
We'll have to see about that, Cardinal. She says it kind of playfully.
Yeah,
not with any
a little bit threatened. Yeah.
Yes, a little bit, yes. But of course.
I also, just to as we've stepped away from this little verbal dueling there.
Yeah.
As a little added like flavor in there, I would guess that at this point Minerva's kind of pissed that everyone's stealing her people, or like requisitioning or requesting, and like out of all of the forces on this world, like the Imperial Guard are fine. They send squads places, and they, you know, the engineers have to go and build, but it's always under the purvey of their regiment or of their kind of, let's call it, faction or sub faction. The sisters are like, hey, we need a dialogus. We need a couple of sisters to come and give a speech to the men, raise their morale. It's like you are constantly not losing people, but like being understaffed because you're being requested everywhere.
Yeah, everybody.
You loan a couple sisters out, now all of a sudden you're opening an adoption center.
Apparently, yeah.
I'm also curious. This will be completely out of anyone else's purvey, I think, for now. How did Sister Superior Rose feel about the essentially the leader of the world being like, hey, maybe you can come on my staff and be a bodyguard or something for a while?
So she will not question it. She will do it.
Oh, yeah.
As per, as instructed. But deep down inside, there's a little like a little jab of like, no action on the battlefield. No front lines.
Yeah.
What? That does not compute.
She's a bit too practical to see the position being like, oh, it's a position of influence, and it's impressive.
Yeah, and she's seen how, her canoness has like been appointed to, command all these troops, but how she's like, not really on the field like all the time, 24/7.
Yeah.
And she notices the slight change in like demeanor and like not really attitude, but like just because of her position where she's at now. And Sister Rose is like, that's not my journey.
So that's actually a great point, because at one point, Sister Minerva was a battle commander. And ever since taking the position as Canoness commander of this part of the Order of Pure Intent, less and less you've been able to get out and fight. I would say, as we've experienced so far, she is quite good at commanding at the admin and dealing with different people and problems that pop up. Is she happy with that? Like, how does she feel? Because I feel like there was a point where she was probably scarier than Rose in terms of like on the battlefield giving commands, like barking orders and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely think it's starting to wear on her a bit. Yeah, she might not show it yet, but maybe Sarah might see that a little bit. But it's definitely, it's beginning to wear.
Okay. In that case, we will bounce forward a little bit because the Cardinal is not the fastest of walkers. He tends to meander. We'll bump it forward to sitting down in your office with a glass of tea. Yes, it's a glass, not a mug or a cup, because the liquid itself is held in a glass. Do you keep your second and the dialogus with you? Essentially, how private do you want this chat with the Cardinal to be?
I think I would keep them around unless for some reason he, wanted it to be one-on-one, but I would keep them.
He's happy to have them there.
Yeah.
In that case, after you've sat down and had a little bit of pleasantries, I'd like the little added details here for both Lilith and Rose. I'm guessing neither of you make any small talk at all.
Not a word. Standing there, well, not awkwardly, but like we're being told to stand there, so we'll stand there.
So,
and I'm not sitting. I'm not taking tea. Like I am like full on battle position, just staring forward and only addressing when I'm addressed.
I feel like, as a little embellishment, like as the Cardinal sits down and starts to relax, as Sister Minerva sits down and starts to drink her tea, there's just this one moment where both Lilith and Rose are standing full attention, just like, stiff as a board, and like they catch each other's eye, and just a moment of like recognition goes through where it's like, oh yeah, I just, same brain.
Same wavelength.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yep. We take our jobs very seriously.
Yeah.
So the Cardinal sits down with his tea and says, obviously, you know why I'm here. I would like to tour the planet, the places where the populace are upset or low on morale, show them that the leader, the head or former head of the planet is moving forward with their well-being, with the planet's well-being in mind. I have heard some instances of unrest and unhappiness from the changing of our world from a place of worship to a place of defense. And as I am not equipped for war, I thought I should direct my energies in another direction.
Yes, I think that a tour and spending time with the people is actually a good thing. And I think that, though, of course, as I said, we are doing quite well in handling some of the areas of lower morale, I think it's absolutely a great thing for the people to have their cardinal come visit and spend time with them and reassure the people even more that things are, despite the changing times on the planet, that there are things to have hope for, and that our emperor always protects us and takes care of us, and it is all a part of his plan.
I am so glad. Would you also be willing to take on the details of the tour, where we go and what places we visit? I would like to see the places of where I am needed the most. The places where people need their morale lifted the most.
Out of character,
Yes.
I assume, for the sake of showing that we have our shit together, essentially, I probably wouldn't want to tell the Cardinal about the stuff that's been happening at the mines. I feel like, do you think, like, would Sister Minerva, like, I don't think she'd want to give that information up to him. So it's like, oh, by the way, we're dealing, or is it, or would it be something that she'd be, willing to share? I'm not sure, like,
Well,
as far as the formalities, like what if she would share that information or not.
So this is something you will have. I've kind of like assumed that you'd have sent to the council. However, since he stepped down in favor of the council and of the war council, which is like, technically speaking, you're a part of it, but you're also separate from it so that you can remain independent as a force. Essentially, the council is like Imperial Guard commanders and PDF commanders and anyone with some form of military background and of high enough rank is kind of like included in this council of like tactical and there's the hope is that once the reinforcements arrive, there will be a designated general, but for now, as it's not technically an actual war on the planet, they're holding off so that shit can get done. Because otherwise there'd be a whole load of arguments about who should be in charge, and no one's really sure how that would go, and that would probably, So for now, you will have informed the council, unless you want to have kept it back for now. That's perfectly within your purview.
No, I think I would have told them at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
He isn't kept up to date at the moment. He's kind of more of a a figure of morale boosting and a symbol of the planet. He the former leader, important cardinal, religious figure, and a lot of people on this planet are extremely religious. Even more so than just the general imperial population. So having him like step down and disappearing isn't really an option. He's still got a lot of sway and a lot of power. If he wanted, he could be like, actually, no, I want to lead this planet again. I'm gonna do all the war stuff. And essentially the council would have to be like, yeah, sure. Because otherwise there'd be a massive uprising.
Okay.
So that gives you a vague idea. I don't know whether he wants to be informed, but
Yeah.
you're not under orders to keep him informed or anything.
Okay. Then I'm not going to tell him the details of our findings, but I will suggest, as part of this tour, I think it might be good to stop near some of the mines and visit the workers there, as they could probably also use a good morale boost, as things have been changing there as well, and I think that would be, a great place to stop as well on this tour.
Whatever you think is the best place my presence can be sent and felt. If you are willing to, of course, undertake my security and the destinations.
Of course. Since I heard of your arrival, I've already begun preparing some destinations. We will complete the mapping out of everything, and myself and Sister Sarah, Sister Lilith, and one of our squads will be joining you on this tour to make sure everything goes well. And yes, we will be happy to accompany you on this.
Wonderful. And he stands up, and both of his assistants, who've been trying to like stand at attention, although they've got a bit of a paunch, they're a bit chubby, and they're very clearly not used to the same like discipline as your two attendants are. They kind of like trying to stand up and look more official, and he says, very well. In that case, shall we leave in, let's say, 3 hours?
Yes, I think that gives plenty of time to get the final arrangements together. Is there anything else we can do for you in that time?
No. I think I will wander the halls, say a few prayers to the Emperor, and possibly say a few words to the sisters of your wonderful order.
Wonderful, yes. And might I recommend checking out the main altars? They have just been freshly polished, and all of the candles and everything actually has just gotten redone there. So it might be worth taking some time there to do some prayers.
Wonderful. Well, I will excuse myself for now, and please do let me know when we are ready to depart.
Of course.
And he nods to Canoness, and he turns to both Lilith and Rose and says, "May the Emperor bless you."
As he leaves, I look to the other two, and I let them know. I think it would be good to have the Cardinal visit the area where the miners are, but we should be extra cautious in that area. We don't want any infection spreading, of course, and make sure that the Cardinal is safe. But I do think that a morale boost might be good there, especially for what's to come in the coming days for them. I think it'll help them to be visited by such an important figure and restore hope there at least. But just make sure that he is protected and taken care of in that area, especially.
Understood, Canoness.
We should make sure that Sister Hilestri can maybe pre-scan the area and make sure that those who need to be quarantined are quarantined, just so there's no worries of infection spreading anywhere else.
I will send for her at once.
Wonderful. Well, you all heard the Cardinal will be leaving in a couple of hours, so I will finish mapping out our course, and we will be ready to go in a few hours.
Thank you, Canoness.
Okay.
Click heels and
Salute
leave
and
to
out.
go find. Yeah.
Yep.
Off to find Hilestri.
And I'm stepping pace behind you. Like I
Yeah.
am like making it very well aware that I know I'm behind you. Versus
She's
having already
completely
seen.
Yeah, she's
the,
completely unfazed. She's just like, Hilestri, where are you? Well, not really like that, but more so like
Third time
looking
today,
around.
Hilestri. Here we go.
Hilestri, I'm not gonna hurt you. You can come
Where are
out.
This is just gonna turn into like a hide and seek featuring Hilestri.
It's like the Scooby-Doo where we're all coming out of
Yeah.
the other
Yeah,
doors.
It's like the more Seraph does this, the more Hilestri will find ways to not have to go through Seraph.
Yeah. As a question for both Lilith and Rose, how are you feeling about being assigned to bodyguard the Cardinal? Basically, first stop the village, the mining village.
It puts me closer to battle, so I'm happy.
All right.
yes,
It puts a
but at
weapon
the same
back in my
time,
hand.
for me, I'm just like, cool. Don't screw this up. You have the Cardinal to protect.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's live or die. It's go time.
I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, man, this is, a little risky bringing a VIP to an area that might be infected.
Can
Think about it.
Can I say, Canoness? Very well done being like 2 birds, 1 stone. I got this.
Yeah. That's at least the thought process there,
Yeah.
but it's still risky. So we'll see how it goes.
Would you like to? Is there an kind of fairly extended interaction you want to have with Helestri, or is it something that you?
I go in there, just straight face, like just shout a command. You're going down to the planet, or out there. I don't know. Are
to
we?
the mines?
Yeah, going out there to the mines. We have the Cardinal. Utmost importance. Don't F this up.
Alrighty. In that case, I think we could skip a little bit of time here for the sake of, well, time actually. And I think we could find ourselves actually at the mining town. I will say for now, the Cardinal is being kept in a nearby, fairly hastily erected, kind of, let's call it a fortification. Very, very basic. Like they requisition a house on the outskirts of the town and put the Cardinal and his entourage in there, have a whole load of sisters guarding it, and he's expecting in a little bit to meet with the headman so they can start saying, oh, you're a headman, are you? What do they do? Wonderful. While the squad, Canoness, are you leading the squad, or are you staying with the detail on the Cardinal?
Good question. I think I would maybe stay with the Cardinal.
I will say that he is like, if you kind of,
Yeah.
he will say like, oh no, don't mind me, do go
Okay.
ahead and do what you need to do. I understand.
Yeah, if he's I would then probably go with the rest then. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, Sister Superior Rose, you are taking your position as XO, essentially second in command. The rest of your squad is all there. You have 2 squads detailed on the Cardinal, so you don't need to leave any of your forces behind unless there's a specific sister or 2 you would like to post on the Cardinal in addition. You can keep in radio contact with basically all of them. So
No, I think if it's my actual like squad and stuff, I think along with Sister Lilith, I think we're ready to roll.
okay. In that case, with everything set up, the citizenry are currently under orders to stay within their domiciles. The mine has not been closed down, but it has been essentially cleared out today, so no one has been allowed back in. There are 3 people who have been reported as sick who are quarantined. The next round of tests is due to be in about 4 hours to see if anyone else has contracted or seems to be sick. You do have your advanced squad here as well, along with the other Hospitaller who are, in general, unless you need them, doing the general, like, keeping the populace indoors and Medicaid stuff, if needed. My question would be for the commander, what's the next step for you here?
So I would make sure that I'm keeping abreast of the situation where Helestri is at, but knowing that the mines are probably like not next to like the town's bakery, it's like it's a walk.
Yeah.
She knows that that's where the detachment, is there and studying and all that kind of stuff. So she knows that as long as she can keep him in the main town, to satisfy, his whims of looking around the town, then maybe, make sure that he makes an appearance to the citizens, like Sister or Canoness Minerva says, like make an appearance, have him be
Ooh.
like, oh yeah, I'm here to keep everyone safe.
Good.
That's what her goal is.
Good point, actually. Question for, I guess, both of you, actually, and possibly Lilith as well, depending on how much you all want to get involved on this one. Are you... Obviously, he's going to meet the headman, who you've met before, Rose. He is due to make an appearance in front of the citizenry in kind of like a little friends, countrymen, etc. Lend me your ears, and kind of like boost morale and stuff. It's his first stop on the tour. Would you like to limit anyone who's essentially like even a slight security risk in the eyes of the sisters? Would you like to keep some of the citizenry indoors and like...
Yes, she would also, for safety reasons and such, and for, the cardinal safety, of course, she will allow like the mayor or the governor or whatnot, to come out and, walk with us to kind of give us a little tour or whatnot, but she's gonna be like,
Okay.
the whole time at him, make sure that he, stays in line.
In that case, I'm trying to think of... Actually, all three sisters, you know what? I feel like Helestri would kind of be involved in this enough. Could all four of you, please roll me... I will... Yes. Could you, all four of you, sorry, please roll me your cunning. This will be... Oh, sorry. I just need to make sure that everyone has their dice clicked right. Okay, everyone does. Alright. That sounds like everyone. Rose, you have rolled 0 successes.
She's not very cunning. She's very, to be honest, she's very blunt and straight.
This is so appropriate. Lilith, you have rolled 0 successes.
Yes, yes, I have.
Helestri, you have rolled 0 successes.
No, I have one, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry, you do have one.
I have one.
Yeah, one.
And Tracy also has one.
Yeah.
So what I will say is
Minerva can have my success. She can have two.
Well, what I was gonna say is the seedling of this idea begins with Minerva, and after talking to Helestri, it blossoms into a full idea. Minerva, if you would like to keep certain members of the public away from the Cardinal just to be safe, and this is something which you'll have enough intel on to be able, especially from the headman as well, like talking to him, to know like which people to keep back and, make sure they don't meet the Cardinal or, don't run that risk. You could hold the event in 4 hours and selectively decide who is tested first for the medical test. So
Yes. I'm not against that. The question is, what would we do for the 4 hours? Would we just be like, hold on, Cardinal, we need like 4 hours to, test everybody? Or
you could... So there are a few things you could do. You could cite security reasons and investigate the town and look around for heresy. You also have the mine, which I assume you'd like to check out.
Yes. Okay. So yes, we would tell him for security reasons that we'll prepare the area. And for him to just stay put for a little bit.
And essentially during this time, he's going to be sitting there with the headman being like, oh, very interesting. Mining, you say? You find these materials in the rock? Wow.
Yeah. 4 hours of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
meanwhile Minerva's like, okay, and she's like, okay, you make sure to do that, and like kind of just like sending everybody out to just like get it prepared and make
Yeah.
sure that nobody compromised will be at his speech.
Okay. Do you send anyone into the mines?
Ooh, I would actually ask Sister Sereth, who she would like to send to the mines, like if she wants to lead and go in, or send some of her people in, and yeah, get her take. Sister Sereth, if you want to, I leave it to you to decide who goes into the mines, if you want to lead or.
And this is after we give Cardinal a tour?
Yeah.
It,
Or after we give him, like, let him know, like, hey,
Yeah.
we need to do some security
Yeah.
detail. Yeah.
Canoness, if I may be plain, I feel it would be substantially beneficial having your skill on the field with us. However, I understand your obligations here. I would be more than happy to head the front of the mines.
Yes, I'm torn. I think it would be good to join you, but perhaps I should stay back and fulfill any duties here that may come across. Yes, perhaps you lead then.
Understood. It shall be done, Canoness.
Thank you.
In the Emperor's light.
So, Sister Superior Rose, who are you taking down with you to investigate the mines?
I'm gonna take Sister Lilith. I'm gonna take Sister Halestri. I'm gonna take Sister is it Afridis? Aphrenius.
Aphrenius,
Yeah, Sister Aphrenius.
Okay.
I feel like I would just take my actual like squad with me, to be honest.
Avicera
Right,
might not
or-
be super useful down in the mines.
Okay.
And I would say
I would like, yeah, maybe the bolters.
Ian Nellet might not be useful as a standard bearer, but aside from that, the majority
Yeah.
of the others will be.
The majority, yeah. So, the flamer, the bolters, the battle ready ones.
Okay. In that case, the squad, aside from those mentioned who will be less useful, just the two of them, form up within a fairly fast amount of time, as you send out for them, and you find yourselves standing in front of the caves of the mines, ready to descend. I would say the gear they have is mostly hand wielded, so we are talking picks and things like that. They don't seem to have the best of gear, most likely because there wasn't a huge call for the materials. They're not significant as compared to other planets. There's mining planets out there that do nothing but mine, and they can use the gear a lot better. The problem is they're now either, frothing heretics or, asshole secessionists. So, unfortunately, you don't get those materials anymore from them.
I know that are we talking about like gears and like their own mining equipment, or are we talking about gears in my squad? Because I know my squad would.
Oh no,
not be
I'm
using
talking
their-
about the miners. Yeah, the miners have pretty
okay.
crappy mining gear. It's like hand, pickaxes and stuff like that, as opposed to like mechs or drills or anything.
Okay.
And as you as you stand at the mouth of the mines ready to go in, Hospitaller Helestri, would you please roll me?
Do I have to sniff the air again?
Would you please roll me? Let's go with your survival.
Oh shit, my survival. That's like not very good. Oh no.
No,
Wait.
that's quite
No,
good.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Medicaid, but it's fine. We're all rolling so terrible today. Well, guess we're not surviving.
Yeah. In that case, Sister Superior gives the word, and you, in a column, start to move slowly with your guns brought to bear in towards the into the mine, and start to descend with obviously lights turned on, and as you do, there's just a small slight green shimmer in the air, as unfortunately Helestri did not manage to pick up a slight scent as you descend. And we will finish there for today. We have, weirdly enough, I looked over at the time and I was like, we've got like an hour left, and I was like, oh no, that's the yep. We've done a lot more than I thought we had.
Hi ho, in the mines we go.
I love how in the first episode you were benevolent and you were like, roll your Medicaid, you know, you have a lot of points in there. And now you were like, you know what?
Well, so the Medicaid was based on essentially like your medical knowledge, whereas you managed to go heresy and just smell it. So I can't make you smell with Medicaid. So I was like, okay, survival is reasonably appropriate. You can only blame yourself really, because that isn't medical at all. You're not like picking up on some
True, it's not my fault. It's not my fault.
It's well, you did fail your survival roll.
It's not my fault. I'm not the one doing the survivaling here. I'm the one healing.
Fair.
Yeah. You're right. You're not in the wrong at all, even slightly.
Never.
So, yes. How did everyone enjoy today? Ellie, it was lovely to have you for your first episode.
Happy to be here.
Can I say there was a point where the Cardinal addressed you both and was like, Emperor bless you, and you both just stood there completely like, yeah. No acknowledgement, no anything. He's like, all right, well.
I gave
off
a
I
little
go then.
nod.
Proud.
Like we were just like Cardinal, like not because I mean like
Yeah.
we're not gonna make like small talk chat with the Cardinal of all people.
I love that we're both very similar in our approaches too. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like in RP, we're both like, yep, hi.
Yeah. Everybody's very intense in the Sisters of Battle.
I feel like that's the part of the whole concept here is like,
Yes.
like no one's gonna say no to a superior. Like everyone's gonna
Right.
shut up until they're spoken to. Like that's just part of the package.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I will have to say, like, very well done, Canoness, for like just maneuvering that whole situation of just more like piling on. You're just like, ah.
Yeah.
God, I felt so petty. Like
I'm just sitting here, and she's just like,
Yeah. Woo,
Canoness
yeah.
Superior.
Look, so far so good. Okay. We're getting things done. There's a lot on our plate, but we're figuring it out. You know, things are going well with the Cardinal so far.
I think you did really good delegating everything
Yeah.
with all the
Yes.
stuff that like they
Yes.
kept like that Sheepy keeps throwing at you. Like, oh my gosh, every Monday it's like a workout. Like,
Yeah.
all right, what you have to throw
It
at me
is.
now, Sheepy?
Yeah, it's great.
Hey, I mean, yeah.
All out of love though.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's been really cool to see me throwing this stuff at you guys, and then it's just like, okay, like you got to deal with that too.
Yeah. Like trying to figure out the priorities and like, okay, like clearly, like the mining thing, I think is a bigger priority for System Minerva, like getting that figured out.
Yeah.
But there are other things, obviously, like other tasks that come up.
The
that have to be dealt
engineers.
with. Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's like, well, we could fob that off to the Imperial Guard,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
it won't get done for a while, and
Right.
that could be a
right.
problem in the future.
Yeah.
And then the
So-
stuff with the magos is just like, stop being an asshole, you little
Yeah.
mechanical prick. But
We've got enough shit to deal with, Magus. But yeah, I've been enjoying navigating
and
to
then
deal with everything.
having the ex-leader of the planet who's like basically a saint to the planet,
Yeah.
and then he's like, I'd like to go around and see people, and you're like, you realize most of the like lower echelons of this world would tear you apart.
Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, he's gonna be here in a few hours. So
Yep.
it's like,
Yep.
get everything prepared. Let's go.
I absolutely loved watching you two quarrel over Seraph, and like I
Oh,
felt like
yeah.
I was watching a vampire game at that moment. like,
It's like,
oh no,
you're
I
not
I
taking
wouldn't,
mine.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
steal her or anything. No, of course not.
Yeah, there's
Of
definitely
course
that
not.
lingering.
But if
Seraph's
I
here,
were
like,
to,
Seraph's here, like sweating, like
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
get a
so
sudden
good.
channeling of a Ventru, and like, how dare you try and steal my underlings? They
Yeah.
work for me.
They're
my
my
like, oh,
assets.
you could try to steal them, but their loyalty is to me, so like it wouldn't matter anyway.
yeah.
I think it would have been a whole different story completely if he tried to like requisition Helestri, because Helestri would just be like, no, that's my queen and I serve her only.
Yeah.
My queen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you not giving off those vibes throughout the show?
Absolutely. That's my goddess. Keep away from her.
True. So
Oh, that you say that in character and you get burned as a heretic.
yeah,
I'll tell you
it
that
really
now. Yeah, I think next episode's gonna be an interesting one, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
We're going in the mines. We're going in.
Hi ho.
I was
I
like,
have
there's no
Mario,
reason I
we're
should go
going
into
in
the
the
mines, right? And then you just go, oh yeah, who am I taking? Lilith,
All of
Helestri.
y'all
I
are
was
going
like,
in the mines.
I
Well,
mean,
because I was thinking, I was like, who would be really beneficial? Well, Helestri said she wanted to get a sample, maybe study it and stuff. So she's just like, why not just throw her in to the mine with us?
oh,
Yeah.
actually, that's a good point. Seeing as you have 3 sick people, would you like to? And this is mostly to Minerva, but just to the group in general. Would you like to have gathered a sample from each of the sick people to, like, take back or to send off?
Send to the Medicaid, like the attachment that we have set up.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Medicays have been brought in. They are majorly from the Imperial Guard, and that is the majority of them sent over was from the Second Kurland engineers. Basically responded quite quickly, and they were like, "Yes, we have a detachment of Medicaid. We can send them to you. You can consider that essentially a thank you for the assistance with the."
Okay.
But
Yeah, might be good to send to them. To start looking at.
So I take it we're keeping the Magos biologist out of the loop for now in terms of research and etc.
Yeah, for now. There may be a point where we loop them in, but
Sure.
let's keep it within our. Yeah, I think for now.
I'm not gonna go outside orders at this point.
Oh, yeah. I wondered whether he would be called in as kind of like a, hey, get in here, you crazy mechanical.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I think we will do some outros and then we will head off for the night. So let's begin with our newest member of the Sisterhood, Serestra Lilith, and also Elbel Preach.
Hello. Hi, my name is Ellie. I love tabletop RPGs, and this is not my first show with Sheepy, and I'm very honored to be here. It's my first introduction into 40K, so I'm learning a lot and really enjoying. But it is like information overload. Like my brain is just like,
fair.
wow.
I get it.
I stream on Twitch 2 to 3 days a week on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And I have ADHD, so does my content. We jump around a lot. We play everything. We talk about ADHD. We talk about pretty much anything. And that's me. So thank you for having me.
And hot potato. Would you like to choose your hot potato?
You can choose the hot potato.
Oh, okay. Hot potato to the star of all of the admin work, Miss Magitech, and also the Canoness.
Our fearless leader here of taking charge of all of the tasks for the sisters. Hello, everybody. I am Tracy, also known as Magitech, Miss Magitech on the internet, or MagRPG, because that's where I play a lot of my tabletop games, run a bunch of stuff over there. I said this last week, but we were on a hiatus in January. We were on a break, but we're coming back in February. So things will start getting quite busy again for me. But that's me. That's where you can find me. And I am excited for next week and to see what we find in the mines.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
To follow up that performance, let's go with Sarith Rose, the Sister Superior, and the other Sister Superior. I'm Kat.
Yeah. The one who has a superior stick up her bum.
I don't know. Lilith is
enjoy-
giving you a run for your money.
No, honestly, she really respects Lilith. And she is like very much respects Lilith. So much so that it's like, her falling around, her doing like her, like they're on the same wavelength. And for her, it's just like a, yes, this is what the sisterhood is about. This, you got kind of like things. So it's together, we're unstoppable. Anyways, I have fun playing Sarith. She's way more serious than a lot of my kooky, chaotic characters, which I enjoy. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. It's Twitter or X, whatever it's called. That one social app. I'm Cat, and then on Twitch, I'm Cat. I've been taking a little break from streaming at the moment, but I'm planning on getting back into it. I also do art. I draw emotes and all that other kind of cute stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in it, come check me out. And I'm gonna hot potato to my favorite subordinate. My favorite subordinate ever. Halestri.
I know you show tough love. It's like you always treat your child like your favorite sibling.
You always treat them the hardest because that. Yeah.
True.
I know. Don't worry.
That's
about
basically
it.
what she's doing. She's definitely treating Halestri like a lot harder. Because she knows that she's
Hey.
but she won't say it.
Syrinx, role player, cosplayer online. I adore being in this show mainly because of the cast and the GM. And all of the 40K stuff I'll take with it, and if there needs to be a heretic in the group, might as well be it, right? You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Syrinx. And I am looking forward to being back next week. Sheepy, you go.
Hello everyone, I am Sheepdog. I run the Wandering Inn. If you would like to support, I heartily suggest and ask and point you towards the Patreon, where essentially a small pledge, which can be pretty damn small if you want, will help me pay the cost, which will help me, once we hit a certain point, to make 2 shows a week. And once I can make 2 shows a week, I plan to keep going and try and make 3 shows a week, except for one of them will probably be recorded and maybe be similar in as many ways as possible to what I've done with the Duak Outlook, which is some editing and, some crazy stuff, and etc, etc. As I said at the beginning, at the top of the show, I am working on merch. That'll be coming soon-ish, so, keep an eye out for that. All of the places, the socials and everything, links in the description. All of the links are in the description to all of these people, not just their Twitches, which is standard, but I also at their YouTubes if they have one. So you can go and check them out on YouTube as well, which I heartily suggest, as I know that some of them, for example, we have Magi RPG, which is a cool place to go and check out other roleplay content. And I think some people are hoping to do some fun YouTube stuff, so keep an eye out for that. Yes, one of the last things I'll do is I will read out the super chats. I was requested to read out Mark's one at the beginning and end, so I'm gonna have to read it out again. I apologize for puns. What do you call a women-led monastery? A non-profit. I hope you feel like you got your money's worth, Mark. I've had to read that out 3 times now.
If he didn't at this point, I don't know when he will. Like, honestly.
How many times, in brackets, a day, does Sarith stop Helestri from leaving an apple on Minerva's desk? That is a super chat from Doozapindan to Sarith.
Oh my god, I
Love
saw that one. Oh, I will
funny.
add though, I don't know, like, in the world where Helestri would feel like it is her right to, because at this point I don't think she feels like she can even approach Minerva that way. Like, she can't even give that.
No. I'm putting it out there right now. She leaves a mint chocolate on her pillow every night. Without her knowing. She sneaks in like a ninja.
I think with Sareth, she would. Helestri, what are you doing? An apple on the desk. What is this?
What if there's a grenade in there? It could be a trap.
Some
Make somebody
gift.
bite it, like chew it before, so I know it's not like poisoned or something.
Look, hey, we're not at the stage yet of leaving apples. What we will do is every time she gets her tea, make sure that she blows on it a little bit before it goes into the room so that it's just the right temperature.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we're good on that level.
I think Sareth knows that Helestri admires Minerva greatly, but I think one thing that with Sareth, it's like Sareth is like super to the book and always wants to make sure that everybody else is to the book and like goes up the chain like properly and stuff, because that's what she had a higher up that treated her pretty much like the same way, so I guess she's like a basic reflection of that. So I think she would do the same thing with like Helestri. She sees a lot of hope in her, but at the same time, and knows that she admires Minerva, but it's like, you gotta earn it. You gotta earn her respect, her favor. So she makes it very difficult to her.
You can just say the words. She knows that Helestri sims for Minerva. It's not just admiration at this point.
Yeah.
You're not praying for the Emperor at night.
Next one is hello, sister Helestri, brackets Syrinx. Although Syrinx is spelled wrong, how dare you, damn man. Inquisitor Damned Man here. You seem to be very interested in this illness. To what length would you go to find a cure? And I was going to say, I feel like we've seen one instance of not being willing to go to any length, in that she didn't tell the biologist.
Well, hey,
the tech priest.
look. at a certain point they will reach a cure. I don't think it's a cure in the sense of like being realistic here, in the sense of like, oh, we're gonna make sure these people like are cured, like they can live their lives, like the disease left them. I think the cure will be in the sense of like, oh hey, so everyone who had the disease is dead now, and we made sure the disease is not coming back.
It's like,
So you're welcome.
Sister Helestri, I heard you found a cure. And she's like, yes, and then turns
Yes.
around and goes, more wood on the fire. Yes, I found a cure. Can you please bring the patients this way?
I feel like the goal here is to find the source of the corruption, make sure that's gone.
Yeah.
Like that's the cure. Realistically speaking.
Yes, I'll be right there. Let me just finish pouring this gasoline. Okay.
I'm busy with it right now. Flamethrower, anyone?
Does anyone have a match? No one?
Thank you for coming. Please take your complimentary can of turpentine and please go stand in front of the fire. The ceremony will start soon. And finally, we have a super chat from Tarmanel saying just simply thanks for the good RP.
Yeah.
Hopefully, everyone is very much enjoying this Adepta Sororitas TTRPG actual play, roleplay game, etc., etc. And yeah, we'll be back next week with more. So I think thanks for watching, everyone. Again, go check out everyone here at their Twitches and their YouTubes and everything. And we'll be back next week. Thanks for watching, and see you later.